So now we're going to look at the Max modeling primitives and how we create them. So let's just drag and delete that lot. Right, and so we get to the creation operations by using the command panel, which has these various tabs in it. We're mostly going to be interested in this one, which is create, and then that one, which is modify. So in the creation panel, we have geometry, we have shapes. So let's just say we'll drag out so boxes and shapes. Let's just have a circle, and then lights and all kinds of other stuff. Target spot. So, and the way that Max works in all these instances is that you have a very particular order of operations, so which becomes very intuitive very quickly. So how does it work? You click on a button to select the object, you click down on the screen somewhere, and I usually suggest picking the ground plane. Then you drag the object out, then you release, and then you drag the object up, and then you click down again to cancel, to finish the operation. So let's do that again. Click down, drag, release, and then click again to make the object. And different objects will have different dimensions, so and they'll cut the operation short. So for example, a sphere only has one dimension, so just click, drag with the mouse down, and then release, and then the object's created. A cylinder is more like a cube, so we click down, drag, release, and go up, and then click down again. Tube, click, drag, release, drag in, click again, up, and then click to stop. Mostly I'm going to be using cubes and cylinders, and then sometimes planes, and the other objects are kind of a bonus for certain situations. But I will go through and just finish off creating them. So we also have a torus, which looks like that. A pyramid, which is kind of useless because I'll just make pyramids out of cubes normally. We have a teapot, which is virtually useless for all modeling situations, but excellent for testing, and I will use that as my go-to object for testing any kind of rendering pipeline issues. We have a plane, which is very simply like that, and then we have a quite a specialized tool, which is a text plus tool, and you can just see it's got some tiny text in it just there, and we can modify that by playing with the parameters. So how do we modify things, in fact? So let's just drag, select all that lot and delete it again. Let's start off with a cube. So click, click, drag, and then drag up again. So once we've created an object, we then go to the modifier tab, which is that one. And now we can see the currently selected object, which is box 01, and a highlight of where it is you are located in the modifier stack, which again we'll get onto later. So very simply, we can now go and play with its parameters. So let's make it smaller, for example, by going to tab 2, tab 2. I have a much smaller box, and we can change the number of segments it's created out of, like that. Oh, and just so you're aware, pressing F4 will allow me to have this polygon overview, which is really useful. If I press F3, then it changes to wireframe. So F4 and F3, and you'll be hitting those buttons a lot as you model. So we'll be going through this process pretty much for every object we create. So let's create a cylinder. So click, drag, drag up again, click, and then I go over to the modify panel, and I might press F4 to see the segments more correctly, and then I can see that I need to maybe get rid of some of those height segments and drop that down to maybe 1, for example. I don't need any cap segments, but maybe say I need more size. There we go. And you can see that every object has other options which you can get into and experiment with. So we've got this slice option on here, which can be useful for some things. If I create a sphere, it also has slice options, which are kind of fun. So let's slice on, Slice from, like that. So, and as you begin to understand the objects more deeply, you can start to sort of visualize how you can use the features of each object in your modeling. Okay, so that is how to create objects using the creation panel and the different objects that you can create.